Have you ever felt lost, like everything you once knew was gone? Today, we're diving into a powerful story about a woman who faced just that, but found hope in a new beginning in the most unexpected way. This is the story of Ruth, a tale of loyalty, kindness, and incredible faith. Our story starts in a time of famine. An Israelite family, Elimelech, his wife Naomi, and their 2 sons leave their home in Bethlehem to find food in the neighboring land of Moab. Life seems to be looking up. Their sons marry to local women, Orpah and Ruth. But then, tragedy strikes. First, Elimelech dies. Then, over the next 10 years, both of Naomi's sons also pass away, leaving her and her 2 daughters-in-law as widows in a foreign land. Heartbroken and alone, Naomi hears that the famine in her homeland has ended. She decides to return to Bethlehem and urges her daughters-in-law to go back to their own families, where they might find new husbands and a fresh start. Orpah, with many tears, kisses Naomi goodbye and leaves, but Ruth refuses. She clings to Naomi and speaks some of the most famous words in the entire Bible. Do you urge me to leave you or to turn back from you? Where you go, I will go, and where you stay, I will stay. Your people will be my people, and your God my God. Ruth's loyalty is astonishing. She's choosing to leave everything she knows, her country, her family, her culture, to follow her mother-in-law into a future of uncertainty. For a foreign widow in ancient Israel, life would be incredibly difficult. They would be poor, with no social standing and few rights. But Ruth's love for Naomi is stronger than her fear of the unknown. So, the 2 women journey to Bethlehem together. They arrive at the beginning of the barley harvest, destitute and in need of food. Ruth, ever resourceful and determined, tells Naomi she'll go to the fields and gather leftover grain, a practice called gleaning that was allowed for the poor. By a stroke of what seems like luck, but is really divine providence, she ends up in a field belonging to a wealthy and respected man named Boaz. Boaz happens to be a relative of Naomi's late husband. When he arrives at his field, he immediately notices Ruth. He asks his workers about her, and they tell him she is the Moabite woman who returned with Naomi. Boaz had already heard about her incredible loyalty and kindness. Impressed by her character, he approaches Ruth and tells her to glean only in his fields, where she will be safe. He even instructs his workers to leave extra grain for her to find and invites her to share their meals. Ruth is overwhelmed by his kindness. She bows down before him and asks, "Why have I found such favor in your eyes that you notice me, a foreigner?" Boaz replies that he knows all about what she has done for Naomi since the death of her husband. He blesses her, saying, "May the Lord repay you for what you have done. May you be richly rewarded by the Lord, the God of Israel, under whose wings you have come to take refuge." When Ruth returns to Naomi that evening with a huge amount of barley, Naomi is stunned. She asks where Ruth has been, and when she hears the name Boaz, a spark of hope is ignited. Naomi explains that Boaz is one of their kinsman redeemers, a close relative who had a responsibility to protect the interests of their extended family. This could mean marrying a widow to carry on the family name. Naomi sees a path forward, a way to provide security for Ruth. Following Naomi's wise counsel, Ruth approaches Boaz at the threshing floor one night, a bold and culturally significant act. She asks him to fulfill his role as her kinsman redeemer. Boaz is deeply moved by her loyalty, not just to Naomi, but to her late husband's family line. He agrees, but there's a complication. Another relative is actually closer in line than he is. Boaz, a man of integrity, handles the situation publicly and honorably. He gathers the town elders and presents the situation to the other relative. When the other man declines the responsibility, Boaz joyfully steps in front of all the witnesses. He declares that he will buy back Naomi's land and marry Ruth. The whole town celebrates with them. Boaz and Ruth get married, and soon they have a son named Obed. The women of Bethlehem rejoice with Naomi, saying, Praise be to the Lord, who this day has not left you without a kinsman redeemer. May he become famous throughout Israel. He will renew your life and sustain you in your old age. For your daughter-in-law, who loves you and who is better to you than 7 sons, has given him birth. Naomi, once empty and bitter, is now full, holding her grandson in her arms. And the story doesn't end there. Their son, Obed, would become the father of Jesse, who would become the father of David, Israel's greatest king. And from David's line, generations later, Jesus the Messiah would be born. The foreign widow who chose loyalty in the face of despair became a crucial ancestor in the lineage of hope for all humanity. Ruth's story shows us that acts of kindness and faithfulness, no matter how small they seem, can have an incredible ripple effect. It's a reminder that even when we feel lost, sticking to what is right and showing love to others can lead us to a destiny greater than we could ever imagine. Thank you so much for watching. If this story inspired you, please hit that like button and subscribe for more amazing stories. See you next time.